I don't know why, but I love how dark and depressing it is. I know that's really bad to say, but I really do love how dark and depressing it is. It's just, I can't get over it. I love it. Hello everyone. Welcome to Lost in the Stacks. I'm Christy. Yeah, hi. Welcome to my videos. Today we're going to be talking about a really fun topic. I'm going to spend way too long ranting about my favorite authors and why they're my favorite authors. But first I have a really exciting announcement. My husband and I are buying our first house. I'm so excited. I haven't decided if I'm gonna like do a little tour or something, but I will probably have 1 or 2 more videos in this current setup in our apartment, and then probably my reading wrap up for October and September is going to be recorded in our new house. I'm so excited. But yeah, that's my big exciting news that I wanted to share with all of you. But yeah, let's get into the authors because I'm really excited to talk about that too. This is in no specific like order because I can't choose between any of these about which one's my absolute favorite. These are just my top 5 favorite authors that like I can't choose between which one I love more. So I'm gonna start with Victoria Aveyard, who I am obsessed with. And if you have not heard, she is going to be coming out with next year her first adult fantasy novel, and it is going to be Pirates of the Caribbean inspired, and I am so excited. Pirates of the Caribbean is one of my favorite movie franchises, and I'm just like, yes. So why do I love Victoria Aveyard? Okay, so in high school, I read the first 2 books of her Red Queen series, and I don't remember why I never finished them, but then I reread them last year, and I read all of the books, and it is my favorite series of all time. And let me tell you why. First of all, world building, peak. Love it. It's got dystopian flavors to it, but it's also fantasy, and I don't know why, but I love how dark and depressing it is. I know that's really bad to say, but I really do love how dark and depressing it is. It's just I can't get over it. I love it. Her character development is very well done. You can connect really well with the characters, even the darker characters who are very morally gray or evil. Like, there are ways that she has you connect with those characters, and I think that that's so interesting because like even the villain has relatable aspects to him. And I'm just like, who does that? Like, that's just really good writing, and her style is just, I want to be like her when I grow up. But yeah, I love Victoria Aveyard. She's an amazing author. She comes up with such creative ideas. I have not read Realmbreaker yet. And I'm actually waiting on it because I really want all the books in paperback. Don't ask me why. That's just how it's working out. I want them all in paperback. And the last book has not come out in paperback yet. It will in December. So I'm waiting until I have all 3 to actually start the series, because I know that because I love her writing so much that I'm going to speed through it, and I just want to have all 3 right there ready for me. So I'm waiting very impatiently, but I'm waiting nonetheless. But Victoria Aveyard is amazing, and if you like things that have to do with war and superpowers and very dark characters, morally gray characters, if you love stuff like that, you would love Red Queen. And I have a feeling that Realmbreaker has a lot of the same like tropes, which I'm very excited about. I hope it is, but I'll give y'all an update whenever I do actually read that, which will probably be like maybe over Christmas break, maybe like January. Whenever I do, I will definitely be giving like a full review of the series when I finish it, because I'm sure I'm gonna love it, and I want to share that journey with y'all. But yeah, that's Victoria Aveyard. Let's go to the next author because I'm trying not to ramble too much. Let's talk about T. Kingfisher, or Ursula Vernon. So her real name is Ursula Vernon, and she goes by T. Kingfisher. I think she uses Ursula Vernon for some of her like younger, like middle grade books. But listen, T. Kingfisher is amazing. I discovered her last year. I read Nettle and Bone, and I was confused but obsessed. Like, if you've read Nettle and Bone, I feel like you will understand what I mean. Confused but obsessed. And I want to reread Nettle and Bone. I think I said that in one of my last videos that I was talking about it. I really want to reread it because I feel like I would be less confused the second time around. Even though I loved it, I was just like, I don't understand fully what's going on. But I feel like that'll be fixed up with reading it again. But listen, I like T. Kingfisher for 2 reasons. First of all, I like her horror. Like, I don't like horror that's like jump scare, like kind of horror. I like very like just dark, dinky, and creepy kind of horror. And she writes that, and I love it. And I need more of it in my life. Nettle and Bone, I have not read I can't remember what it's called, but it's based on the House of Usher. I've not read those yet, but I want to. What Moves the Dead. I haven't read those yet, but I want to. Any other horror books I've read by her? I think my main thing that I like by her is her fairy tale kind of stuff. So she does fairy tale retellings. I found out the other day she's coming out with a Snow White. That's what it was. Snow White retelling that she's doing. I think it comes out next year. I saw it. I think I was searching to like pre-order her new romantasy novel that's coming out next year, Sword Heart, and then I found this other book and I didn't even know about. But I love her fantasy stuff. She did a redo of The Goose Girl, a retelling of The Goose Girl, which I might have read it at some point, but I don't remember reading it, but I probably did. And it was so good. Like, it's called The Sorceress Comes to Call. I feel like if your mom is a narcissist, you probably shouldn't read it because you'll get really traumatized. Because the main character's mom is horrible. But she just writes her characters in a very like black and white way. And I really like that, where they're either like, it's just very easy. They're very easy to understand who they are and what they want out of life. And it's just, it works good with my brain because I'm autistic. So like nuance doesn't really like work with me sometimes, but T. Kingfisher writes her characters in a way that's very easy to understand who they are, what they're wanting, what their goals are. Like, it's very straightforward, and I love that. I love that, and I'm grateful for that. Back to her fairy tales. If you love like Hans Christian Andersen, you love Brothers Grimm, you will love T. Kingfisher's fairy tales. My favorite one is called Thornhedge. I love it. I love it so much. It's a retelling of Sleeping Beauty. And then I also love Sorceress Comes to Call. Just really anything that I pick up by her, I have loved. Like, I have yet to find a book of hers that I don't like. So if that ever happens, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe just die. Just like, because I love her so much. If you can't tell, when I like an author, I get absolutely obsessed with them. Okay, there are going to be some people who are going to hate me for this, because I know that this author is a love or hate author. It's Leigh Bardugo. I have loved Leigh Bardugo for a really long time. I read Shadow and Bone in college, like undergrad, and I'm obsessed. I loved it. I've only read through the books once though, which is kind of weird to me that I've only read through them once. But one of my friends got me the King of Scars duology, which I haven't read yet. So next year my plan is to reread Shadow and Bone and actually read the King of Scars duology after that, because it's like comes right after. So I'm excited to do that and reread it and see, is this still one of my favorite series, or do other things top it? Because since it's been at least 3 years since I read it, so I don't know, like, I've changed, my tastes have changed since then, so I don't know how I'm gonna feel. It's not like Red Queen where I just read it last year. I know it's still one of my favorite series. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Obviously, I'll do a video on it. I'll probably reread Six of Crows too, which Six of Crows is one of my favorite books of all time. I recently read Ninth House, which I will be talking about in my next reading wrap-up video, and I need to not be obsessed with it right now because I am obsessed with it. It is officially my favorite Leigh Bardugo book. I've been reading just dark academia all October, and Ninth House started that, and yeah, I love my favorite thing about Leigh Bardugo is her world building. Like, I feel like she's just so good at just creating this very immersive world where you can just easily like put yourself right in there, right with the characters. You are right alongside them. And also, a lot of her characters are morally gray, and I really like the way she writes morally gray characters because they're very relatable, and like you can connect with them really well and understand. Kind of like, I guess that's a theme with Victoria Aveyard too. She writes morally gray characters that are easy to connect with and understand, even if they're not great people. And I just love that. I love that they write like that, and I want to meet Leigh Bardugo and give her a giant hug and be like, you are amazing, please never stop writing. I have read almost all of her books. The only books that I haven't read are the King of Scars duology, and I own all of her books. But yeah, once I read those, I will have read all of her books. I read The Familiar earlier this year when it came out. It wasn't as good, I feel like, as her other books. I don't know if she just really needs to write series or duologies, and that's where her like niche is. Maybe she just needs longer time to create the story. It was still really good, but it wasn't as good as the rest of her novels, I felt like. But overall, I love Leigh Bardugo. I think she's amazing. I cannot wait to see what else she comes out with. I heard that Ninth House is supposed to be technically a trilogy, and I really want another. I want to know what happens. I need a conclusion to those books. But yeah, I will save the rest of that rant for another video. So the next one is V.E. Scwab. And I feel like I have this like trend going now that I'm noticing as I'm talking about these authors, where I just love authors that write really great morally gray characters. The first book I ever read from V.E. Scwab was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I need to reread because I haven't since I first read it, and like I loved it. It's very like, I don't know if it technically falls under the like literary fiction term, but like it sort of reads like that in my mind. It's very deep, it's very philosophical, and I love books like fantasy and sci-fi that are very deep and philosophical. They are some of my favorite books, the ones that are like that. But yeah, I loved that book, so I don't know why I haven't reread it. I think next year is gonna be my year of rereads. I'm gonna just reread all the things that I haven't in a while. We'll see if that actually happens. I need to get through my physical TBR right now, and then we'll see after that. But back to V.E. Scwab. I have not read as many books as I would have liked to by her. I want to read the Shades of Magic trilogy. I have let's see, I've read Addie LaRue, I've read Gallant, which I really like the way that Gallant, the book itself physically, is set up because it's just so gorgeous. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop and I'm going to go get it. Just give me 1 second. Okay, we're back. Out of book designs, this is my favorite ever book design. Okay, let's start with the cover. Okay, you see this cover. There are two different opposing worlds. It's kind of like the Upside Down a little bit. And so I love this cover. I also love the fact that it is not a typical book size. I love unique books, okay? Then we have the illustrations. Listen, I love the illustrations in this book because they're just so, I love them so much. Okay, just this whole thing is just so beautiful and I love it, and yeah, it's my favorite book design ever. But yeah. So I've read Gallant, I've read Addie LaRue, I have read The Vicious and Vengeance, which I loved. I devoured those in like 2 days. Full on, like, great. I'm always scared though, because the people that I know that really like V.E. Scwab, they say you'll love some of her books and you'll hate some of her books, and like it's very like a mishmash kind of thing. And so I'm like scared whenever I go to read another one of her books that I'm like, I'm not gonna like it. And like the majority of her books are like 4-star reads, but I just love the like, just the vibes are immaculate, and that's why I love her. In every single book the vibes are immaculate, even if the writing styles sometimes, or the characters aren't fully developed. It's just the vibes are perfect, and that's why she's one of my favorite authors, is because of that. So I don't know, I'm always scared when I read new books by her that like I'm not gonna like it, because I don't want to not like it, but you know, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I'll read the Shades of Magic trilogy at some point soon, but we'll see how that goes. I have one more author to discuss, and I'm very excited for this one. My final author is E.S. Thomson. Listen, I discovered her last year. I read the book Dark Asylum. So, no, not Dark Asylum. I just finished Dark Asylum. I read, oh shoot, I can't remember. It's the 4th book in her series. Anyways, I found it at the book warehouse outlet in Easley. The first time I went, I found it. I was like, this looks really cool. It's a Victorian medical murder mystery. I love reading anything set in the Victorian era, especially Victorian London. And so I picked it up and I brought it home, and I was instantly obsessed. Basically, E.S. Thomson writes this one series. It's based on this one character named Jim Flockhart. And so it's the Jim Flockhart series. You don't necessarily need to read everything in order, but I think that it does help to read the first book and then you can read the other ones out of order, because Beloved Poison kind of gives you the background on the character, and there's a lot going on with her. Especially because she is a woman who disguises herself as a man in Victorian London so that she can be an apothecary. I love characters like that, okay? When they have like a secret identity and stuff, I don't know why, but it just like, it speaks to me. I don't know if that's because I'm autistic and I masked for so long and like had my own like secret identity, but like, I love her. Listen, E.S. Thomson is the greatest author of our generation in my mind. I know that Brandon Sanderson exists, but let me have this one, okay? I agree that Brandon Sanderson's great, but E.S., if you, I feel like she's niche though. She's very niche because they are Victorian medical murder mysteries. But like, it makes my heart happy, okay? If you are a fan of Agatha Christie, Arthur Conan Doyle, you will love E.S. Thomson, because she takes the best things from those authors and the way they write and the way they created their detective stories and put them in one book. And I love it. Jim definitely gives like mild Sherlock vibes, which I love her for. And I just feel like the way this like style of the murder mystery and like how you find out stuff and like the storyline itself is very Poirot of her. Like it's very much reads like an Agatha Christie novel, specifically the Hercule Poirot like novels. So she is amazing, and I am currently reading the second book of hers this month because I am in my like I need to read like Victorian like dark academia novels, and I had 2 more left on my shelf that I own that I needed to read. This is the 4th book that I've read by her. Currently I'm reading The Blood, and there are 2 more in the series that I need to buy and get, and I really hope someone gives them to me for Christmas because I need Nightshade and I need The Underground, which I need them. I need them in my life because these books I will reread for the rest of my life probably, and like grab every single copy that's like book that this author puts out because E.S. Thomson is amazing. Yeah. I just yeah. If I ever so this is like a really nerdy thing, but she is a medical historian and she lives in Scotland. And if I ever go to Scotland, I want to get lunch with this woman because as a writer myself, like I need to like have a conversation with her and be like, can I be like you when I grow up? Because also, you haven't figured out, all of these authors are ones that I want to emulate in my own writing. Different aspects of them and things. One of the books that I'm currently working on is based on Victorian England. So I'm getting inspiration from E.S. Thomson in that. But yeah, I love E.S. Thomson. I think she's incredible, and I just want to read every single book by her forever. If there was any author that I could just read their books for the rest of my life, it would probably be her. Her and Victoria Aveyard. Actually, not Victoria Aveyard because hers are depressing and I feel like I wouldn't like that. Her or T. Kingfisher. If I could read like just their books for the rest of my life. That's what I would do, I think. Yeah. And those are my 5 favorite authors. Highly suggest you read any of them if you have similar like book taste to mine and you haven't read any of these authors. Definitely suggest reading them. I love a lot of authors and I love a lot of different books, but these 5, like, I will buy every single book they come out with because I love them so much. Yeah, they are my auto buy authors, and yeah. Please check them out, especially like E.S. Thomson, and because she is a small-time author and she's not like, I don't think she's very well known, so please check her out and like promote her because she is amazing and she deserves more love. So yeah, but those are my favorite authors. I hope you enjoyed this little ramble. I know I did. I can't stop talking about books. That's why I'm here. That's why I have this channel. I need an outlet for talking about all these authors and books that I love, and I hope that you get some entertainment out of it. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.